So we're here for part one, the producing aspect of your life as a movie, and there's like three big things that we need to cover. I think that will help you start this journey. First things first, I do want to say you cannot just wish for something and expect it to happen. You know, um, visualizing and some of the things that I'm going to go over as steps to make these make your goals a reality. Certainly, there's an element of just wishing and putting that out into the universe and putting it back, but without or getting it back, but without the actual work that's put into it. And I believe a lot of the work actually comes on the front end and the prep. Without that, without doing the hard stuff, the easy stuff's not going to come to you, and the results not going to come to you really either. So with producing your film, first thing you need to do is find the location. This doesn't necessarily mean that geographically, although it can. I think you can look at your surroundings and you can say, let's just use an example. Say you want to be a singer, a country singer. Maybe you should go somewhere where that opportunity rests. Nashville is a place, with the music. I don't know that living in, Iceland, where there's not really any connections there, is going to be the best way to get into that. That's an extreme example, but geographically, it could just mean maybe your goal is to become a lawyer. Well, you need to go to law school, so you have to go where the law school is. So that geographically that kind of seems basic, but you had to put yourself in the position to succeed. If you don't put yourself somewhere where you can succeed, you have no chance of succeeding anyway. Another thing is about your surroundings. Now, this doesn't matter if you're in Kentucky, California, Timbuktu. It's about, are you in the right headspace? Are you really ready to go forward with this? Are you ready to take the steps that you are going to be necessary to complete this journey? I think stopping and really asking yourself that kind of question, like, is this something I really want, is going to make the whole process easier, because there's going to be lows in the process of achieving what you want. No success is ever just a really easy thing. So if you look at the very beginning and say, what is my goal? What is my story? What is my mission? And you really say, no, this is what I want. You can hold on to that later on when there's issues, when things come up that make the journey difficult. And that's going to be crucial for you. Second thing you need to do is find the resources as a producer. So, do you have the support system around you that you're going to need? It takes a village, as they say. You need to know, as I mentioned, there's going to be lows and there's also going to be highs, and a support system is there for both. A lot of people think that the support system is just there when you get down, but a support system is also there as a sense of community when you're up and when you're feeling good. They're able to raise up your spirits, but when you're down, they're also going to fulfill that role of just like being with you. They'll raise your spirits, but they'll also just kind of be there with you and just be a companion in those moments. And you need to evaluate up front. And this is a difficult process because sometimes it means you got to make some hard decisions. But you need to look at your support system and see if they're really what's going to be best for you to achieve these goals. The second thing is just practically, do you have the sets? Do you have the costumes? Do you have the props? I'm using the movie motif, but if you want to become a great guitar player, do you have a guitar? Do you have access to lessons? Do you have, picks to play the guitar? I mean, that's a small thing, but do you have a space to play? Do you have a space that you can go and just focus? Another thing is to study. I can't say it enough. And it's not fun to study. However, you need to figure out now, at the very beginning of the stages, what is going to be required to do this. Because if you don't know what you're getting into, when you get into it, you may want to get out of it. As simple as that is. There could be, let's say you do want to pursue some type of graduate degree. Say you want to be a doctor. It's a lot of school to go through. Say you just watch TV shows and see what doctors do and you think it's kind of like that. It's not exactly how it goes. You need to talk to people in the field. You need to research it. You need to look at, like, what are some of the issues that come with that career path. What are the benefits are great, but it's a lot of hours. That's time away from your family. Is that something you really want? You got to reflect what you want. Reflect upon what you want in your future and see if this goal is going to line up with that. And we'll focus a little more on that when I talk about being the lead actor. But it's definitely something and the director part as well. It's definitely something at the very beginning you need to try to. I mean, you won't know the whole step of the process. And I'm not saying that if there is some parts of a journey that you're not excited about, that should deter you from it. But it's better to be prepared. Be a Boy Scout. Always be prepared. Third is you need to find the time. This seems obvious, but a lot of people bite off more than they can chew. If it's something you just cannot practically do, then you can't do it. Or maybe there need to be changes made so you can have that time. Like I said, you can't learn to play guitar unless you have a guitar. Well, you also can't learn to play guitar unless you have time to play a guitar. One thing that I've found, I just started doing this here recently, and it's been a major benefit to not only just my life but my mental health, is putting a limit on social media. And I'm not attacking social media, I'm posting these videos to social media. However, it is a major time consumer. I found that I was spending a lot of time at night before I fell asleep, lying in bed, scrolling through Twitter, and then I got so what's on Twitter, let's go see what's on Facebook. Now let's go see what's on Instagram. And then, it's been about 20, 30 minutes, maybe something new happened on Twitter. And that just eats, it doesn't seem like a lot, but eventually it just eats all your time. And there's benefits to being on there. There's, community that you can find on there. There's friends. There's news now. That's where a lot of us get our news. But I recommend not cutting it out completely, because I don't think you can nowadays. I think setting a limit. iPhone, actually, most everyone has an iPhone, but I'm sure the other cell phone providers, Android or whoever is left, are doing this as well. iPhone has a setting you can put where you put a time limit on apps. So I've gone through and I've put like a 1 hour time limit on Twitter and Instagram, because I found those were the two that I was spending a lot of time on. But what happens, interestingly enough, is I know that limit's there, and psychologically, I don't ever let myself hit that limit. Like, whenever you hit that limit, it grays it out, and you have to like lock it, and it'll say like, are you sure you want to? And it'll like shame you, like, are you sure you want to break the promise you made? And don't ever do that. Don't ever break a promise you make with yourself, because then you're telling yourself that your word means nothing. And even if it's just between you and yourself, it undermines everything you do in the rest of your life, because then it makes lying to other people easier. It makes just backing out of things easier. It just it's undercutting everything. So there's a little bit of a diatribe, but I've found that whenever I have that limitation there, because I know it's there psychologically, I'm more mindful about when I'm on social media, and I cut it out. I don't think since I've turned that on, except for maybe the first day, that I've actually ever had the little lock thing come up, because I just found that I'm like, okay, well, you made this decision. Why you chose not to be on social media, so don't be on it. Go read, go write, go make some videos, go have some ideas. And I think if you can put these three things together, if you can find the location, you can find the resources and find the time, you got a very solid foundation for starting your movie. And this is where it starts to get fun, it starts to get exciting. The examples get a little bit more fun too. But the foundation has to be set, because without that foundation, it's all going to fall apart. Just like I was talking about with the, lying to yourself. If you lie to yourself, if you're not honest with yourself, then it's not going to matter, your conversations with other people. If you can lie to you, or I can lie to me, I can lie to anybody, you should 100% be able to be honest with yourself. So, we're going to focus on the next few videos, directing and acting, and they're going to be kind of broken down into more parts. But producing is maybe the most important part of the game. and you got to get it right up front, and then that allows everything else. It's almost like the snowball rolling it downhill, you know, dominoes falling over. This is the first one, and it's not easy, but once you get through it, it makes everything else a lot easier. It makes everybody else's job, and remember, you are the producer, director, and actor, so you're making your own jobs easier on the back end. So next video up is going to be about directing. I'm excited about that, and I'm happy to see where we get to go on this journey.